My name's Lucas Morgan from Multi-Ply Components. So we're a composite molder in essence, much like many other composite molders out there, except we are a specialist in carbon fiber components for X-ray imaging. But this is our old planning spreadsheet, and it's a typical example of the sort of whiteboard that was up in the clean room or up in the polishing or the assembly department. You know, spreadsheets of what we needed to do on a day-to-day basis, with comments of where the batch was in production. You know, there are 3 of them in laminating. There are 2 that are in cure. There are 3 that are in machining, and then there are whiteboards up saying we need to do X many of this a day, and we've done Y many. Information was always lagging. It's always put on at the end of the day. Okay, we've hit our target or we've not hit our target. It's really fractured, and I feel like I'm painting a really negative picture, but I've worked in a lot of factories, and I know this is really typical of how a lot of factories work. And I know it'll be really reminiscent to a lot of people watching the webinar at the moment. It's stopping us achieving the sorts of lead times our customers wanted us to achieve while maintaining the on-time delivery performance that we needed to be maintaining. The new way is the Plataine AI production scheduler, and what it allows us to do, or what it does, is it takes all of the considerations, all of the things that are in the spreadsheets, all of the things that are in the head sheets of the various people around the factory, and it thinks about them all at once, all of the time. The production leaders, they look at it day in, day out, just to check the plan, to check the state of things, and if anything looks out of place, they'll go, what's going on? But typically there's no sit down and do any plan. There's no time spent planning anymore. There's just the managing of the production. What you end up with out of the back of that automated scheduling is a connected, cohesive plan. So this is typically what the production leads would see, is a Gantt chart of the entire factory plan. And we have a planning horizon set up in the system of 4 months. So we're now planning up to 4 months in ahead. Now, previously, we were lucky if we were planning 6 weeks. More often than not, we were planning a month, because that's all we could really manage with the complexity of our system, with the amount of workstations and the amount of work orders we were trying to plan for. But now we've got a system that is automatically planning for us for 4 months in advance. Whereas before we had this disconnected, each department having their own plan, which may or may not have been convenient for the next department or the previous department. Now we've got this completely cohesive plan where I can say and see, okay, the part is going to be here on this date. It then goes to this department on this date. It then goes to this department on this date, and it's going to hit my shipping department on this date. And I know that for a fact. Our particular factory, almost 10,000 tasks at our sort of peak that we've seen auto-scheduled across 40 production stations or machines. 12 to kind of 16 week scheduling horizon that those tasks have been scheduled out. And when I say task, I mean either laminating on a tool might be a task, or machining a batch of 20 things might be a task, depending on how the scheduling and the batching is set up. 100% visibility of what that production plan looks like, and being able to follow through any given batch from beginning to end. The previous method of planning would not have allowed that growth, and it certainly wouldn't allow that continuation of that growth. It would just be too complex to try and manage. The Plataine scheduler has allowed and enables the expansion in volume and complexity.
Is the AI generated schedule as good or better than a manually created schedule for a given time span?
That's for you to say.
It's better.
It's better. It seemed like it was better from the results you were showing.
Yeah, it's not really comparable.